Okay, this is going to be a real quick and thorough tutorial on how to install and run React Native on your MacBook in 2025. I'm going to assume that most of you probably are going to have these beginning steps done, but we're going to do a complete tutorial. So first things first, we want to install Homebrew. You probably already have this. If you're not sure if you have it or not, there's no harm in running it again. You want to open up Terminal. Sorry, my Mac is in Spanish. This is my girlfriend's Mac. All right, so ignore that ZSH, oh my ZSH. So let me just clear this. I'm just gonna paste what we just copied from brew.sh. And we're gonna paste that right here. And then you do have to enter your password, your computer password. That says that this is what it's going to install. Press enter to continue. And this might take some time to install. Most likely, I believe we're going to have to say yes again, because later it's going to ask us if we want to install the Xcode command line tools. Oh, it's done. Okay, good. So we installed Homebrew. Now that that's done, we do have to run these steps here, sorry. Downloading and installing is enabled, anonymous. A run brew help. No, it should be fine. Okay, let's double check if it's gonna work. We installed that, and now we're gonna install Node.js. Again, you most likely have this installed, but to double check, get Node.js, and we are using brew to install it. But we're not gonna include this at. Oh, by the way, that is nodejs.org. So back to our terminal, I'm just gonna paste that. Perfect. And that might take some time or not. I'm not quite certain. All right, while that's installing, let me just do this. Let me just put this to the side. Put both to the side. Oh, it's done. Oh, that was so fast. Oh, okay. Well, we can double check. We can run these commands here. Node-v, npm-v, both are installed. Great. And of course, you likely already have your IDE, but if you don't, I recommend, and most people likely do unless you're using NeoVim or Vim, just gonna go ahead and use VS Code. So we went to code.visualstudio.com and yes, allow the download, and that shouldn't take too long. So those are the main very initial setups to get running. And while that's downloading, if you click Get Started, at reactnative.dev, we are going to go with Expo. It's what they recommend. Yes, you can do it without a framework, but I do it with Expo, always going to do it with Expo. And in the meantime, while that's downloading, we are going to need Xcode. These are, developer tools for your Mac, only available on Mac. So in the App Store, you just search Xcode and you're going to find Xcode. And you're going to say, I think it says get in English, and then it changes to install. All right, so quick caveat, Xcode installation is large. It's right here, 12 gigabytes. So obviously, I'm going to stop the video for now. See you soon. But real quick, let's go ahead and install VS Code. So there's one really big thing, so in your downloads, one really big mistake that I found a lot of newbies, or if you just don't know, is that when you download Visual Studio Code, unlike many other apps, this, if you can tell, this is not a .dmg file, right? This is not an installer. This is the app. So if you were to double click it, it'll run the app from whatever folder you downloaded it to, which actually you can still use the app that way, but you're going to run into problems very quickly. So what you want to do after you download Visual Studio Code is drag and drop it to your applications folder. It should be here on your sidebar. So always drag and drop it there. So yeah, I forgot, I already have it. But I'm glad I downloaded it just so you can see that. So once you have it, Visual Studio Code, You double click it. I guess oh, see, I already was working on something else. So hold on, let me open a brand new one. So it should look something similar like this, but except you're probably gonna have a welcome screen, and it almost always automatically opens up with the AI agent. And this is what it looks like, right? You don't have any extensions, but you know what? I only have a couple here anyways. All right. Real quick, guys, I realized, so when I installed Homebrew, I told you that there were some more steps that we had to take to make sure it worked, but I realized now that I already had Homebrew installed on this Mac. So I found a good YouTube video where this person's Mac didn't have it installed. And at the end, you're most likely going to see these next steps. So I'm going to link this video down below at this 2 minutes and 9 seconds, but you can see when you run Homebrew for the very first time, you're going to get these instructions. Run these two commands to add Homebrew to your path. This is required. So you have to add, and actually, I think it's 3 commands, not 2. But nevertheless, you'll see in this video that you're just going to copy and paste that into your terminal, and then Homebrew will work. So that's something I couldn't show personally, but you can watch this portion, this section of the video. No need to watch all of it because he goes into a lot more that you don't really need to do. Okay, that actually was faster than I expected. After you have installed, this will say open in English, but we're not done. You do have to agree to their agreements. I guess you're gonna have to enter your max password. And here's the next part. So that 12 gigabytes is not enough. We're also gonna want the iOS. So this is gonna be the simulator for the iPhone. You could do all this if you plan to build apps for those. They have a predictive code. I guess it's their AI. What's another 2 gigs compared to 10? So I'm going to leave that on. All right, download and install that. Let this run. What's new? Just hit continue. Okay, so it's installing. Now, by chance, so those of you who are installing this brand new, that's this is the method. If you already have Xcode installed, but maybe you don't have the simulator, how do you do that? So you open up Xcode. This is what it looks like when it's just open up. At the top, you go to the settings. And in the settings, now it may look a little different. I am running the newest version of macOS on this. I saw that. So if you're running on Tahoe, this is what it'll look like, right? But anyways, you're going to want to go to the left-hand side, components. So under components is this is built in, right? You're going to want both. You're going to want macOS and iOS. It'll say get right here. It'll say get to install iOS. So click that, install that, and I'll be back once this is done. Alrighty, here comes the moment of truth. I believe we shouldn't need to do anything else. So start a new React Native project with Expo. We can do this. However, we're going to add a couple more because you can always add some flags, some options to the end here to customize it. And that's what I'm going to do, because when you do that one, create Expo app dash latest, and we're going to do dash dash template, and we're going to do blank. You can do blank or you can do blank TypeScript. I'm going to do TypeScript. So yes. Okay, we're just going to say React Native demo TypeScript. Give that a second. Okay, the install went great. It says your project is ready. It tells you what to do next. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to CD right into it. And before running this, we're just going to do code dot to make sure we open it up in VS Code. Now we can see the code. app.tsx. So this is TypeScript, very minimal. And if we look at the package JSON, we have Expo, the status bar, React Native, types for TypeScript, dependencies. So very, very, very minimal. It's a blank slate. So I'm going to continue in this terminal. We're going to do npm run iOS. We should only be able to do iOS and web. Actually, I think I could just do npm run start. If you have Expo Go installed on your phone, then you can scan this QR code and literally see the app on your phone, which is pretty awesome. But when you do npm run start, we can press any of these letters on the keyboard to run the simulator. So I'm going to press I to open iOS. So I'm going to press I. As long as the install with Xcode and the simulator of the iPhone went well, it should open right up without needing to do anything else. Oh, here it goes. Oh, okay, this is because it's the very first time. So we're downloading the Expo Go app. So let's give that a second. All right, you're probably gonna run into this pop-up. It's basically asking us, are we gonna allow the terminal to open system events? And we're gonna say yes. Basically, allow the terminal to open up this simulator. So I'm just gonna close that. Boom, this is the app. Now, watch. So let me go ahead and put this to the side and close our little AI agent there. We have, it says open app.tsx to start working on your app. We have the app, so app.tsx, and that is that text. Okay, so if I change that, if I say, you know it, you knew I was gonna do this. Hello world. Boom, instant updates. All right, first things first, how do we style it? You can see it right here, don't you? We got a style sheet built in. This is the React Native way, one of the ways. So very easily, just copy this. We're importing create style sheet from React Native. You can name this whatever you want, right? It can be banana, right? Const banana, now banana. So it's an object, right? An object and objects. And this is called container. So banana man, all right? Banana.man. And if I save that, nothing happened, right? I think background color, let's make it black. Ooh, now I can't see the text. Very easily, let's make a new style for the text. So we're just gonna say as text styles. We'll just call it text, okay? So it is an object, so we need colon, open up our objects, regular JavaScript. I'm sure you've done CSS and JS before with React. If you haven't, this is how you do it. Color, it has to be within a string. What does it say? Red. All right, and we can put a comma there. And now let's apply it. So it's style equals, open up our JSX, and for putting in the object, it's going to be banana dot text. All right, I'll get rid of the banana, but hello world. So with React Native, there is a lot to learn, but if you know React already, it should be pretty straightforward. The main idea is getting your mind away from the DOM, because we don't have a DOM here, and learning the components used. View is going to be your main component. Text is big. Status bar, well, I'm still a newbie, so I'm still learning myself. But React.dev, this is going to be your go-to, right? You want to go to development/components right here to learn about the main components. I would say read them all, play with them, copy, let's say, the button component, copy their examples, make sure you import it. So we're just going to copy this example real quick. And I'm going to import button. And we're just going to, above the status bar, we're going to put there, we're going to delete the on press. That's going to be your function. Instead of on click, it's on press. So you want to read the documents, learn about those differences. It uses a title. So you can see, unlike React or HTML, it's not going to be open button, write the title, write the content, and close the button. Nope. It's all in a self-closing element. There it is. Learn more. All right. So routing, real quick. So navigation, routing, navigation. So if you scroll over here to development guides, and under UI interaction, we have we're navigating between screens. It says this guide covers it. You're going to use React navigation, which is right here. So you need to install this. Let me just click that real quick. Yeah, it's the same thing. So we need to install this. If you're, oh wait, no, sorry. This is a starter template. So this is for creating the app with the navigation pre-installed. But anyways, we're going to run these two commands. the npm install and the npx for Expo, for the Expo dependencies. Open up our npm install. While that's installing, we're going to get ready this one, and this is going to install safe area context as well. So right now, I'm just going to show you the routing. We're going to create a new folder, pages. I'm going to create a new home.tsx, and I'm just going to copy everything from this app, paste it here, and we're going to name it home. And we're going to delete status bar because I think we only need at the top. Everything's going to stay the same. Okay, for app. Now we're going to delete all of this. Delete the styles. Delete this. We don't need any of that. Okay, what we are going to need is import safe area provider. That's going to be first right here. Safe area provider. Safe area provider, just make sure everything that's within the safe area provider is going to be within the safe area of the iPhone and not, because of the notch, the menu bar, etc. It's just making sure that it fits, everything fits. Now we need import navigation container. So you need a container. So first you want the provider, next you want the navigation container. Boom. Now we have to import create native stack navigator. And we want to assign that to a variable so we can capture all of the methods from that. So we're going to do const stack equals create native stack, create native stack navigator. Boom, boom, boom. Now this is throwing because the children. Oh wait, we don't need that styles because it needs children. It's dying for children. So since we call this stack with a capital, let me open and close that. We're going to say stack dot navigator, and let me spell navigator right. Navigator. Close it. Now we can add our screens. So anytime you make a new page, so every time stack.screen, anytime you make a new page, you're going to create a new stack.screen. But the stack.screen is self-closing, and it needs some attributes. We got to give it a name. This component right here, this has to match the name of the component that you import. So I'm going to say import home from my page's home. Okay, obviously we can rename it whatever we want, but we're going to name it home. And then here is an optional. If I put options will take in a object, and we can add one option of title equals React Native Demo, and I'll show you what that does. Save all this. Okay, so what has happened? So our app.txx is rendering this screen from home right here, and everything that's here. So let's change our background color back to white. There we are. It's rendering the component called home. And the option React Native Demo, that is what's showing at the top. If we just put home, it'll say home. If we say whatever your app name is, right? But I like React Native Demo. Let's go ahead and duplicate this one. So let's create a about.tsx. We got an about page. We're gonna copy all of this. About page, about. Now let's go back to our app, and we're going to do another stack dot screen name equals about component. Let's import it. Import about from about component about, and we're just gonna self close that. and to go ahead and navigate to another page. So now we need to go to our home.tsx because that's where we're at. We want home to be able to navigate to the about page, right? This does exist, but how do we get there? This is not a URL. We can't just go there. So let's add a button. We imported button, and we're going to, right, the title is learn more. That's what the button is going to say. And in the button, we need to navigate. We need to pass in a property. Let's get rid of this accessibility label. Let's go ahead and add an on-press attribute. Again, because it's mobile, on-press. We'll pass in a function, and we're going to do navigation. It's not gonna exist yet because we need to pass it through as a prop, and then navigate. Get out of here. Navigate to about. And this has to match the exact name of our component. All we do is come over here to our props, and we're going to do navigation. And TypeScript is going to yell at us, and I will show you the code to fix the type. But first, let's just make sure it works. Okay, now that we saved it, where are we at? I apologize. I had this open from another app. Let's do npm run start. This was from a previous app. So now that it's started, I just pressed R right now to reload. Here we are. I learn more. So when I click learn more, here we are on the about page. And notice that what we installed was the native stack. By stack navigation is stacking the pages that we go to onto one another. That's why when we click back here, it goes back to where we were. Learn more, we're in the about page. The about page has a button as well. So on the about page, if we come back and put in our navigation prop on press, pass in the function to navigation.navigate to home, save, boom, we're back home. So, and let me just change this to go home. Maybe we should change this one to about us. All right, go home, about us. And it has been stacking our navigational history on top of one another. Okay? All right, last thing, how do we fix this props? Well, first, let's create a type. Since we are going to use this type in multiple places, it just makes sense to put the type somewhere that we can export and import. So types.ts, we're going to do export type. We'll call it root stack, or maybe not root stack. We'll just call it stack param list. All right, our parameters for our stack. You will have to add upon this, but we have our home page. We'll leave it as undefined. And, oops, sorry. And then we'll put about as undefined as well. And we'll save that. Let's go ahead and import type stack param list. There it is. And with that type, we can then define a new type of, let's say, home screen props. It's going to equal. They are very opinionated on the type you're going to use for native stack. So it is native screen native stack. That's why I'm not seeing it. Native stack screen props. And we're going to pass in our stack param list. And we need to pass in our name of our page, home. Boom. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. And that will equal home screen props. Ba-ding. So let's copy this, put it into our about. Okay, and we'll call this the about screen props for the about page. And I will admit there is probably a better and faster way to do this, but this is the way I've done it so far. Okay, here we are. And again, you can take away these, create your own styles folder, or stick with inline styles or CSS with JS right here. Okay, to get the TypeScript error fixed on the app, we're again going to import our import type of our param list stack, param list, and we're going to pass it here. Stack param list. Thank you. Come again. Okay, I'm going to show one more thing here. We have Nativewind.dev. So if you're a fan of Tailwind, a user of Tailwind like myself, Nativewind is the React Native version of that. And the best way I found to get started is if you know upfront you're going to use Nativewind, might as well start your app via Nativewind. Go ahead and copy this code using npm, and wherever you want to create your app, paste the code. And we're going to create a brand new app. We're going to say yes. Okay, we can see that the app is getting started here. It automatically got a project name. I'm sure there are some flags we can add to this to give it a name so it doesn't say my Expo app, but that's a simple change and update. Boom, we are in. So like it says here, now just run the following to get started. cd my Expo app. Let's open up in VS Code to have a look. Close that so we can see all of the configurations, including prettier, the global CSS. It is kind of using the old style, but it works. npm run start. If you don't have an emulator up, just press I. If you do have your simulator up, sorry, not emulator, you could just press R to reload the app. But mine was closed, as you saw. So I pressed I to open it up. The first thing we see is we do have a warning. We do want to install this React Native Safe Area Context, which we did in our previous one. Actually, no, I believe it's already installed. Yeah, that's one error. Actually, I wanted to send them a pull request. It is already installed. The reason why we got that error is in our components, in our container, safe area view is being imported incorrectly. So let's just do that. Import safe area view from React Native Safe Area Context. We save that. And now if we reload, oh, well, all right. It's correct. We'll probably have to cancel and reload again. But here we are. So as you can see, let's go ahead and clean it up. Okay, see how they are still using CSS and JS in a way. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and copy these here, remove this, boom. And so we could save that. Nothing has changed, but for the title, let's give it a text Amber 500. We can make it much bigger. Let's give it a 3XL. And we're using very simple, very well-known Tailwind styles. So this is my preferred way to build. I hope this has helped you start your React Native project.